Hello everyone, welcome back to the lab, and also welcome to another new episode of Road to World 2024, where I will be documenting my journey, my grind of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, and eventually, or hopefully, make to the World Championship of 2024. That being said, let's start a new episode. So, as most of you guys may know from the previous episodes, I went to the UUDS in LA and YCS Las Vegas the previous weekend. There were a lot of different versions of Snake Eye decks I've kind of play tested or even theory crafted prior to the UUDS event, and I feel like it's probably something interesting, worth to share to the public. That's why I'm making episodes of these, just talking about this episode and also the following episodes. We'll probably talk about a different deck each time. Some interesting things I built that I don't really see anyone else really talking about. So that being said, let's jump in. As you may already see in the thumbnail, this is a crazy abomination of bit of everything, right? There are definitely the standard Snake Eye monsters that you've probably seen in nearly every meta deck at this point, but there are also the uncommon cards like Ken and Gen, and also the horse cards. Alright, let's start it one by one. Ken Gen. Some new broken TCG exclusive monster released from Age of Overload with some broken effect saying you threw the other counter copy to the opponent's board and apply the corresponding effect. So if you start with Ken, you threw Gen to their board, they discard one. You normal summon Gen, you threw Ken to their board, and then you get a free draw 2, discard 1. So what's really the idea of running Gen and Ken in the Snake Eye deck? Well, I got an idea from previous format. During AGOF time, I'll say around November or December last year, there was a deck, in case anyone not familiar, Mikanko, really abusing Gen and Ken in any possible different way and eventually resulting in Soul getting banned. Mikanko is a deck that utilize Genken as a starter or as a bait to force out some of the negates. Because Gen can naturally throw a different monster to the opponent's board, it's like a guaranteed imperm target. Despite some of the combo even just take the Genken back. And also in Mikanko, you can summon the first one, send the second one to their board, and then use whatever, take control cards, either triple tag, the Mikanko, I think, the Water Dance, that's how I call it. What's the name of it? Yeah, Water Abs, whatever, discard, to get it back, and then use the effect again. So there's some small combos that got inspired by Mikanko. Because Genken plus all the triple tag kind of cards is almost like a small engine. Back at the beginning of my research to Phantom Nightmare format, to the whole Snake Eye format, I thought triple tag kind of cards were decent, if not even strong. Specifically Talents. Thrust, after testing, I dropped it. It was just kind of awkward playing Thrust into a format full of Drolls. So Thrust, and there's also not many good normal trap. Not like Mikanko has an in-engine solid trap card to set. In Snake Eye decks, there isn't really a good normal trap to set. So I have to play some non-engines for Thrust, which made the deck even more clunky. So at the end I dropped Thrust. But Talents at the beginning, honestly for quite a few weeks, I believe this card was really solid in the format. Despite now looking back to it, that's probably a little bit inaccurate. Talents is not as the best card, the best non-engine card in the format, not even close to it, but it's still a solid card. However, back then when I was testing this, I thought this was good, so I tried to abuse Talents as much as I can. See, the bonus, the major sell point of Genken is it forces out the opponent to activate something Even they don't, Genken will still be activated on their board. This will allow talents to be alive 100% of the time. So, simple idea would just start Genken, give them the corresponding copy, use talents to probably scout out whatever hands my opponent could have. And then after that, play with the regular Snake Eye combos was like the non-engine the non-normal summon portion of the Snake Eye, which any copy of Diabell, Bonfire Original can do this. Right? And then just to, like, these cards, Genkan itself, are a little bit worse going second. So instead of playing more copy of Genkan, I play the Horse engine to see the to increase the odds of me seeing Genkan, but at the same time perform something else while going second. Horse are, if you know, I played it during AGOF time, during like, I'll say mid-January, and I like Horus cards a lot for the simple fact everyone was using Diabell at that point during that format. So even I don't hit anything from my own, there's still a solid chance I zombie vampire into, for example, my opponent's Diabell. Right, now, this current format is so Snake Eye centric, it's like nearly impossible for zombie vampire to not hit something from the engine and do things. Because like, even hitting like my opponent's Oak and probably able to full combo, that's just how absurd like this format is at the moment. So here, like now you see there's the whole small idea, but I also find out something very interesting after testing. So I guess we'll start with a, that's kind of hand. So ideally, normal summon Ken will give the opponent a Gen, and Gen will make them discard one, by their choice. And after that, because Gen has already activated, triple tag will be alive, or just scout out the opponent's hand because we have a starter to do things. So take away whatever pieces, potentially just hand trap, especially Nibiru in this case. Just make sure the rest of the combo is safe. Then activate whatever the Snake Eye starter we have. And then Snake Eye cards gonna provide a lot of things. Let's see. The first half of the Snake Eye combo are relatively similar to what a lot of people knows. However, because we already know what the opponent's hand could be from a triple attack, we don't have to play around anything, or we only have to play around things that we know. So yeah, I am doing the combo a lot more more greedy than I usually am, I'll say. So here, I guess just some whatever. Like this is definitely not the combo I usually do in a regular Snake Eye deck, but because triple attack allow me to go very safely on everything, I can just go very extra, wasting, even almost like wasting a lot of things, but still be fine. Almost getting there. Okay, so here is where things start to be different. Normally, right, like after Princess, you may make like an Emblem well, or even just some like a Hito or something. But because there is a monster that's from us on my opponent's board, it'll make Zelantis alive turn 1. Zelantis will be able to activate and grab the whatever Genkan back to our own field. Let me see. Ash, Flumber, and Zelantis. See, now we just successfully grabbed the game back. Similar concept as how a Mikanko deck really functions. We summon the first one, we give the second one, then we find whatever way to get the second one back and resolve it again. Technically, here, there's other tricky things. Again, now we can trigger again through the other copy of Ken to the opponent board. Ken will activate. This technically even allow me to go Princess turn 1. Because Princess only require a monster summoned to opponent's field, which fits here. However, if I do summon this Princess, sometimes it become awkward because I have to unlock the Fire Lock. So, depends on the game situation. This Princess might not even trigger, to be honest. Because there are still already enough things on the board for me to not need to trigger it. So here, Can, or whatever the other one missing, will just resolve the other effect. Here will be like a draw to discard one. And now there is a Can on my opponent's board. I could play Anima and just take it. Or, what I prefer is just bring by Linkable and make an SP. SP, because of Linkable, I'll just banish the Can that I threw there. And then, as you see, I purposely put Zelantas into specific zones like this, so it calling to SP. Therefore, in my opponent's turn, the SP is kind of quote-unquote immune from battle, because Zelantas in the battlefield will just pop. Also, there's still the standard, like, Snake Eye portion of the interruptions where I have Temple, I have Flamebird to bring out the IP, and then linking to whatever I'm missing, and also like the rest of my hands, right? So this is like some interesting thing I found out where the Snake Eye deck, which naturally already playing Zelantas, has very decent synergy with the Genken cards. And Genken cards turns on triple attack to make sure some of my combos are immune to specific hand traps. And for the ones that I may have issues, they're still cross out. So what's the pros and cons of this kind of list? Pros, this is a very crazily good going first list because there's like nearly no non-engines. Even the triple attack is like half of the engine. Going first, there is guarantee auto win hands in the form of like, for example, Can triple attack cross out with like a Snake Eye starter. And this kind of hands, it's nearly guarantee winning. You know perfectly from the opponent's hand all the informations. All you need to do is just play around the top that they can have, and then the board is still like solid enough for you to, even in a relatively simplified game state with triple attack and cross out, still good enough to win you the games. So that's like the beauty of this kind of list. All the wins going first in like some percent. If you're going to a tournament with like 7-8 rounds, they're guaranteed gonna be some of them you just all the win because you draw the wombo combo cards. However, there's the cons. This kind of list is relatively worse going second. Now, as we see from a lot of the tournament results, a lot of data from playtesting, triple attack going second isn't as great as a card in this current format. It's not bad, for sure. It's not a bad card, but it's not like as good as actual just hand traps. There's also like horse cards. Unlike when I played horse in Rescue Ace, where even if I get drawed, horse card gets stopped, I can still play naturally with my rescues. In this specific kind of decks, if I get drawed after M SETI grabbing King Sark, I still have the horse engine, but the Snake Eye engine just functions kind of weird after that. So that's that. And there's also like Genkan are almost just bad cards to draw going second. And because of these technically takes away the non-engine portion. There's not many spaces to run non-engine cards at all. Like in the list I'm showing here, all you really see are just one of everything is crossout targets. Technically, I can even take out the crossout targets, maybe even call by for more of the hand traps that I just enter through them into the side, which is another way to build this. But overall, it's like, as long as I'm running game cam, these cards are always going to be bad going first. I mean, going second in game ones, and that's almost unavoidable. There's also another thing where, as long as normal summon has been consumed by either Gan or Can, the rest of all the extenders kind of weak to Ash. Because, like, doesn't matter how you go Bonfire into Pop, Diabell into Original, if they, for example, they imperm the first normal summon Gan Can, so Triple Tap isn't alive, then Ash whatever, the extender after that, it become very bad. That I noticed. It randomly make this Snake Eye deck has a choke point. So that's also at the end why I dropped the list. I dropped the whole idea of it. It's definitely a cool idea that I think it's worth sharing. And maybe even some people who's interested can like further go on this route and figure out something else. But for me, I didn't have time prior to the UDS. I didn't have enough like testing to make me feel safe playing this into tournaments. So at the end, I just played a relatively safer version, like just mix of hand trap and ball breaker, for the UDS, and then later just bet hard on hand traps for YSS Vegas, as you probably have seen in the previous episodes. So that being said, this is like just an idea. I think it's very cool. Like the rest of the deck are majority just the same as like a pure Snake Eye, or the Snake Eye cards, or the Diabell cards, or like majority of the extra deck. The only thing is I like to run 2 copy of Little Knight so I can banish one. So I can use one to banish the second copy of the Genkan I threw to my opponent's board after Zelantis. So that's the whole idea. If you are interested, give the deck a shot. Like test it a little bit. Tell me your feedback afterwards. I don't even see anyone play this or even talk about it, so there's probably gonna be something interesting to test. And if you like video like this, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it to your friends, your testing partners, your teams, and then make sure let me know in the comment section down below. That being said, this is one of the Abomination I made prior to the UDS. There's still a few more that I'm going to show it one by one in the future episodes, and I hope you'll like it, and I guess I'll see you next time. Goodbye.